I completely forgot to type in some shit.
Oh yeah, just doing this stuff.
Completely fucking forgot. All right, I didn't quite press the go live button just yet. I hope it's not going live on no other platforms. It might be. All right, what are we gonna type in? How's that look? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
There we go. Where the fuck? Okay. Boom. We on episode 11, right?
Yes. Are we? And I think we're on 10. No, we.
Yeah, we on 11. No?
Okay. I don't know.
Me neither.
Let's check the tube.
Let me know when you find it. I'll put it in there.
No, we're on 10.
We're on 10. Okay. Boom.
For some reason, the YouTube's saying we're live now.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to say. So shouts out to everybody on the YouTube, man. We're live right now, getting it together.
Oh, dear.
This is the Don't Stress Success podcast, man. Listen, we about to give y'all an actual live intro, a professional intro.
Hey, man, it doesn't get much liver than that.
Yeah. But you know what we're not going to do? We're not going to stress success.
No, stress shit, man.
Here we go.
No stress.
Here we go. What it do? What it do? What it do? I am PThePolitician.
It's Daniel J. Scott. I'm hot and bothered, but I'm ready and I'm willing for the podcast. So I just got to give a disclaimer. Being hot and bothered, you guys know what it's like, man. Sometimes you just go off on one. So at some point, I'm not making any promises either way, but I might get a bit salty because I feel salty. It's hot.
Yo, you out there in the UK, man. How hot is it, brother?
I don't know the numbers, man. I ain't checked, but for the UK, it's hot. And
yeah, I see your ass sweating over there, man.
Yeah,
shouts out to everybody tuned in, man. This is the Don't Stress Success podcast, baby. You feel me?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not stressing about being hot and bothered, though. That's the thing. It's a no stress zone.
Indeed. Shouts out to all of our YouTube listeners and Twitter followers who were dealing with our technical difficulties, but we all the way live in full effect right now. Shouts out to everybody that's tuned in on Facebook. So listen, bruh, how was your week, man?
Good, man. We just we're moving out on Tuesday now. We're moving. We got a nice little spot in a nice area of the city. It's full of old people and young couples like us, so ain't gonna be no trouble, no stress. We're right near a supermarket, well, a big store, you know what I mean? So I think it's a 2-minute walk. Not that this is the most interesting information in the world or anything like that. I'm not trying to claim it is, but life's good. What's good with you, P?
Man, I'm right here, baby, right here, man. I had a very interesting week myself, man. just a lot of moves being made, man. A lot of different deals being done. About to help open up a restaurant. Shouts out to my man Cedric Smalls. Shouts out to Mason Jar Music, man. Looking forward to our conversation. And you know, just keeping the grind moving, man. Keeping it popping. You know what I'm saying? So every week I'm meeting new people. I've got some things going on with a fella named Milan Buganovic. He's all the way out there in Australia. So I'm looking forward to that. And it's what it is, man. We'll see what it do.
Networking, man, and that's the key word, you know. People think networking is having a conversation and swapping some links. Networking is working, you know what I mean? I know that's what you're out here doing, you know. Yeah. There's not really anybody that I'm that close to that I haven't put some work in with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So. And you know, it's interesting that you say that, man, because I was having a conversation with an artist, right? This was about a week or so ago, and he felt like I wasn't really showing him as much love. He's from my city, right? And you know, for those who don't know, I'm a program director at a radio station, and so he was kind of feeling like I wasn't supporting him and his music as much as I support other people. And he invited me out to a party during, I think it was around Christmas time, and I hadn't really spoken to him since then. I abruptly had to leave his party, so I'm publicly apologize to him for that. But long story short, the lines of communication weren't open, and that was kind of where we ended the conversation on a great note. But when you're out here building and networking with people, the most important thing that you can do is make sure that you have a constant line of communication going on, man. If you go a few months without talking to somebody, then they're going to lose out details on what you got going on. You're going to lose out details on what they got going on. So, you know, I'm trying to do a better job with all of my relationships. I mean, if it's somebody who I'm really trying to do business with, then I make sure that on a weekly basis that I touch base with them. Like, it's times where you and we may not talk for 4 or 5 days in a row, but at some point throughout the week, every week, we're going to chop it up and make sure that everything is good. You know what I'm saying? So,
got you, man. And that's always important to me. Like I understand that there's going to be times where we don't talk, and there's going to be times where you overlook messages. Like yesterday, I messaged Danny Bear Jokes Herbert, and I went on voice message because I know that's more, you know, personal. I'm like, hey man, I'm just sending this voice note to let you know that I recognize that I'm being a bad friend right now, and that I haven't been in touch. But this is what I've got going on. Let me reply to what you were talking about, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I think you know, you gotta let people know that, like, yeah, you're going through some stuff, but don't shut people out if they're important to you anyway. You know what I mean? If there's no one that's important to you, or you don't feel important to them or whatever, there's no, you know, you don't have to chase people down and shit. But if people mean something to you and people are valuable to you, you gotta reach out and explain the situation if you haven't been in touch for a while, man.
Absolutely. You know? So I want to take a moment in time. We're going to jump into that. This is a great segue when we're talking about friends and relationships and everything. But shouts out to Mendo Krieger. He's tuned in. I see Larry Tall, Johnny Brown in the building. He just recently had a birthday. Happy belated to him. Jacqueline Geddes is in the building. Skeptical John Duff III. Jose Revelis is in the building, man. Carter T. Graham in the building, man. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it, man. Who are your friends? So earlier this week, those of you who kind of keep up with a little bit of gossip, right? Not too long ago, Kevin Hart was exposed for having an affair on his wife while she was pregnant, right? And people were trying to extort him. But what we didn't know is that the person trying to extort him happened to be one of his close friends. So, with that being said, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Charlemagne the God gave Kevin Hart's extortionist donkey of the day. You feel me? So, let's just go ahead and jump into it and see what it's hitting for, man. Let's talk about it.
Now, I've been called a lot in my 23 years, but Donkey of the Day is a new one. Yes, Donkey of the Day for Thursday, May 3rd goes to Jonathan Todd Jackson, a.k.a. Action Jackson, a.k.a. JT. Now, you probably have not a clue who Jonathan Jackson is because the only Jacksons we acknowledge are all related to Michael and Janet. Oh, and Bo. Okay, Bo knows. You don't have a clue who Jonathan Todd Jackson is, but I'm about to tell you. Jonathan Todd Jackson is a 41-year-old friend of Kevin Hart. According to TMZ, he's been in movies like SWAT, Naked, and even in a movie starring Kevin Hart, Think Like a Man Too. Now, I know you might be thinking just because you were in a movie with someone doesn't make you friends. Wow. Jonathan and Kevin Hart have posted several pics together throughout the years, and Action Jackson even attended Kevin's bachelor party. Sounds like they was pretty good friends to me. Now, according to the New York Times, Action Jackson was a professional U.S. bowler, and according to the PBA, which is the Professional Bowlers Association, Jonathan has been a professional bowler since 2006, and his career earnings are a grand total of $3,255.00.
Oh, boy. He's a pro bowler.
Yes. I have no idea why him being a professional bowler is relevant to the story, but for whatever reason, when my brain processes this story, the fact that Jonathan Todd Jackson was a professional bowler with the nickname Action Jackson makes this story even more entertaining. In fact, if I had to run this story on my website, it would say, U.S. pro bowler throws Kevin Hart in the gutter. Because according to TMZ, Action Jackson is in jail on a $100,000 bail, facing a maximum sentence of 4 years because he was charged with attempted extortion and extortion by threatening letter because Jonathan Todd, JT, Action Jackson, was attempting to extort his friend, actor, comedian Kevin Hart. Let's go to AOL.com for the report.
On Wednesday, a man was charged with attempting to extort money from actor Kevin Hart with a surreptitiously recorded video of the married comedian with a female. According to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, 41-year-old Jonathan Todd Jackson, a pro bowler, has been charged with attempted extortion by threatening letter. Jackson is accused of seeking an undisclosed amount of money from the 38-year-old Hart in August of 2017 and of also trying to sell a video of the Jumanji star in Las Vegas with a woman to numerous celebrity news websites. If convicted, Jackson faces a maximum sentence of 4 years in prison.
Niggas, I tell you. Bruh, this is why I feel like an open enemy is better than a false friend. Okay, I mean, this is a different type of guy code violation. This is worse than your friend telling your wife you was cheating. This is worse than your friend trying to holler at your wife. Now, both of those offenses would be ends to the friendship. But in this situation, Action Jackson was trying to ruin Kevin's life. He was trying to ruin his marriage, possibly ruin his livelihood. Thank God none of this happened, but damn, man. Jonathan Todd, Kevin supposed to be your guy, a man you considered a friend. Y'all got several selfies together, okay? And you were willing to lose your friendship, possibly cause Kevin to lose his marriage and have people around you lose all respect and integrity for you because you wanted to extort your man, your guy, for some money? Crazy thing is, the Kevin Hart I know would probably have given you some money if you really needed it because you sound desperate, okay?
Well, not 17 million.
I mean,
or
no,
he
not
asked
no
for.
17 million, but still a little change, you know what I mean, to help get you through, okay? Because as a pro bowler with career earnings of $3,255, you clearly needed the money. And I'm going to tell you something else about people like Jonathan Jackson. Any friend that turned into an enemy has been hating since day one. You've been jealous and envious of Kev for as long as you've known him, or for however long Kev's been popping, okay? Because this wasn't just an extortion plot. You was trying to ruin Kevin's life. Now, I know what you're saying. Kevin almost ruined his own life by cheating. Well, you know what? You're right, okay? But you know what a friend does in that situation? He tells Kev he was wrong. He tells Kev he was wilding. He tells Kev he got to do better because he got too much to lose. But a friend doesn't get a hold of the tape and try to sell it to every blog and then extort his so-called friend for money. Okay, this is a prime example of karma. Yes, Kev made a huge mistake, but ain't no good gonna come to you, Action Jackson, for trying to exploit that mistake and extort your friend. Now, when the news broke yesterday, Kevin tweeted out, mind blown, hurt, at a loss for words, and simply in complete disbelief at the moment. Wow. I really hate when people say they're at a loss for words and then they go on to use more words after they said that, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Action Jackson, you are facing 4 years in jail, but you are facing a lifetime of shame. Why ruin a great friendship over financial gain? Okay, personally, I think real friends are more important than finances, but what do I know? Okay, I'm just glad Action Jackson is in jail, and I'm glad people get to witness this karma, because when people do you wrong, it's no need for revenge. Just sit back and wait, because those who hurt you will eventually screw up themselves, and if you're lucky, God will let you watch. And right now, Kevin Hart has a front row seat to watch his former friend pay for the dirt he attempted to do, okay? This story is going to have everybody side-eyeing their friends all day. And if you know what I know, you better, because the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. Please give Jonathan Todd Jackson the biggest hug.
He's a sucker.
Charlamagne the Godhead, today's Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lemonsoft.
Yeah,
Don't be a
man.
donkey and call my friend Michael if you've been hurt in a construction accident. 212-962-1020. That's 212-962-1020. Don't be a donkey.
There it is. Wanted to let that commercial run through.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
man. But so back to the topic, man. Back to the topic, right? And we started this whole podcast called the Don't Stress Success podcast because you got people out there who are really, really, really stressing success. So going back to the question that we asking, man, how much is a true friend worth? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in this case, I guess $130 million, you know, or $130,000. I don't know, man. But my thing is, like, I just don't understand what would drive a person to that degree other than hate. You know what I mean? So, what's your thoughts on that one, man?
Well, I feel like I've watched every single 50 Cent interview in the world, right? The reason I mentioned that is because I remember a particular moment on one of them where he said, right, obviously 50 Cent puts people on. So Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, Young Buck, even Kid now, whilst they've reconciled all their differences, there was a time where, like put it this way, they may all be working together, but 50 Cent is putting in the work. He's the brand, he's the money, he's all of that. They feel like that when he improves in position, that they need to get paid more too because he's getting more now. But then his argument was like, no, it was a move that I made. It was something that I did. You guys are just sitting on music and not doing anything for yourself. You're waiting for me to come around and do stuff. Why do you get the pay rise? This was an opportunity that I did and I brought up. A lot of people just feel like because they know you, or maybe, you know, is this friend someone who works with Kevin Hart, or is he just...
Nah, it's like a close friend from what I understand. Somebody that's with him all the time, knows how he's moving, all that, you know?
So I imagine he must like provide some kind of role, even if it was like not a mentorship, but just like guidance type of thing, just being his friend or whatever. You know what I mean? And maybe it's a similar situation where Kevin Hart's going from strength to strength, making X amount of millions a year, and now this friend feels like they should get paid more or they should get more opportunities and stuff. But either way, it's hate, and that shit is, you've got to watch who's around you, and these people do give the signs, man. Even like sometimes I don't really be around too many people too often anymore, you know what I mean? But I always used to remember, you know, when you're sat in a room and there's a bunch of you, and you're like, I'll see someone saying something and I'll just see someone looking at them, and I look at the person who's looking at them, I'm thinking, I can see pure hatred there. I can see that, you know what I mean? Just the way they're looking or kind of face they make, they didn't realize they did, and nobody else saw them do. Yeah. And I think we just got to be more aware. And I'm surprised, and I'm not surprised with Kevin Hart, because to achieve a certain level of success, you've got to be aware of these things and pay attention. But then at the same time, when he's got so much going on, maybe he hasn't got time to notice these things, you know what I mean? So I think sometimes in life you're just going to get stung, no matter what. You can't be accountable for everybody's actions. You can't be responsible for everybody's actions. And I think that this is something that every celebrity is going through, or has gone through, or will go through. Maybe not that exact specific situation, but hey, there's some people in life that are looking for a come up, and they haven't got the hustle in themselves to do it. So like if you won the lottery right now, P, there'd be every single person you'd know would be looking at a way to get some money out of you, right? For whatever reason, whether it's them hitting you up like, hey man, remember when we used to, or P, I never told you, but my mother's really sick, or, you know, everyone's gonna know that you just got 100 million or whatever, and they're thinking, okay, how can I get some money out of this situation? Yeah,
you know? Absolutely, man, absolutely. I'm glad that you talk about that right there, because I'm seeing it right now on a small level. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who you've ever talked to feels like they're entitled to things that you got going on. You know what I mean? You just got to be careful of that, man. When you surround yourself, when you out here making moves and being successful, that's what it's gonna bring. So,
big time.
But here's something I want to also say as well, like just kind of playing the whole devil's advocate, right?
Oh shit.
I think about karma, right? And so for me, I'm just looking at this entire situation, right? And you know, I'm no angel myself, man. I've done my dirt. We all have. But wow, what karma to get hit by somebody who you consider to be one of your closest friends while you out here creeping on your pregnant wife. That's karma right there, boy. You know what I'm saying? And I know I got some karma coming to my ass. That's the truth, man. But it's just
for real, man. and you know what, man? You know what? I think it's all about moral compass, and I believe that everybody needs to have a code. If you don't have a code, then you are anybody's. Anybody can have you if you don't have a code, and a code can be things like, right, I'm the kind of person who doesn't cheat. I'm the kind of person who doesn't steal. I'm the kind of person who doesn't lie, and you stick to that code, right? And I really believe in that shit. Like, there's so many times where I haven't even been tempted. There's like I'll give you one example, right? I had a coaching option, right? Which was a yearly coaching option. And I think it was, no, it was 6 months, 6 months coaching. And it was like $500 package, right? And then I'm just minding my business one day, and I get a payment off one of my clients for another 500. We had already done this, well, we're coming up to the end of the 6 months. And I just had 500 in there. Instead of thinking, boom, 500, the first thing I did, I messaged him. I said, look, I just got $500 off you. I know it's an automatic payment. We haven't discussed whether or not you wanted to go on for another 6 months. So I need to make sure that that's something you want to do. It's not in me to be like, you know, take people's money, or someone makes a mistake and accidentally sends me money. It's just not in my nature to keep. I believe in karma, big time, man. I know you're the same.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I believe in karma because I've experienced karma throughout my life. I've experienced good karma. I've experienced bad karma. You know, so I believe in that shit wholeheartedly, man. And it just goes back to the principles of success, the energy that you put out into the universe. It comes back to you, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I try to stay as positive as I can, man. Yeah, that's just what it is, man. Shout out to karma, man. Karma, keep your ass balanced, you feel me?
Yeah. And I think, you know, we need to build the right relationships with people.
Right.
I mean, I feel, and it's something I experience on a daily basis, man, is a lot of people going the wrong way about building a relationship with me, where they're sort of like either trying to force the relationship, or they're acting too cool for the relationship. Well, it could be a variety of different reasons, you know what I mean?
You know what, I want to touch on that, but shout out to Glenn McGinnis and Robert Hicks, man. Salute to my man Robert Hicks, man. Out here doing big things, man. Out here doing big things. Shout out to Indie Music Plus, man. I see you, baby. But going back to what you were saying, I have a perfect example, right? So I've reached the whole 5,000 limit on my Facebook friends account, right? And I get people that are always hitting me in my inbox, man. And I'm not going to call this person out, but I am going to say this as an example. If they are watching, I hope they are. And this isn't to shame you. This is just to point out what it is. So this person comes from another country, and culturally, that might have a lot to do with it. But then again, I can't even say culturally, because I get people from America doing the same thing. So people will hit me in my inbox and just say things like, hi, or what's up? And they have no way to really communicate what it is that they're really wanting. Because I know you're not in my inbox just hitting me up to say hi for the sake of saying hi. You would like to communicate something to me, but you just don't know how. So my suggestion for that, if you find yourself with someone who you would like to conduct business with, take a moment and write some things down that you would actually like to talk about. Now, what you don't want to do is just hit this person all at once. So I'm going to give you a script. So let's just say I just met Daniel J. Scott, and I see him out here, and I'm really loving his vibe. I see the motivation that he is doing. I like his beats in the background. Like, y'all hear this, right? I had to turn it up. Hey, I told you. Woo! Woo! Yo, listen, on a side note, man, Daniel J. Scott just hit me with a bucket of new beats that I hadn't heard yet, and I'm hearing it for the first time on the show, so I had to turn that up. Either way, so let's just say I never met Daniel J. Scott before, and I wanted to reach out to him, and I didn't quite know what to say. So here's a script for you. I would say something to the effect of, hey, Daniel J. Scott, man, pleasure to meet your acquaintance. My name is PThePolitician. I'm the program director at a radio station, and I found your website with your beats on it. I think that you really, really got something special going on, and I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself to you and say hello. And then what's going to naturally happen is he's then going to reply back to me like, oh, wow, shit, this motherfucker actually took the time to listen to my beats. Oh, shit. It's called reciprocity, right? Mm-hmm. And then that's where conversation starts. So I'm not in his inbox with this weird ass hi, or we've never talked before, and then I just hit him with, let's do business. The fuck? That's that weirdo shit, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So get out of people's inbox without intent and get to the point, and don't be a weirdo. That's what I have to say about that, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. How many times over the years, I don't know, but people have hit me up on some less work shit. I'm like, right, what's your idea then? Oh, I ain't really got an idea. So what? You want to work with me and you want me to come up with the idea? Do you want me to do the work as well? You just want a cut of what work I'm doing? I don't understand what's happening here. Have the idea ready. You know what I mean? And this I know, high standard, you should have an idea before you talk to me kind of shit. Right. But it's just like, you want me to come up with it as well?
Right. That's just almost like I get hit with let's work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I've had that exact same thing happen.
There's a few statements, man. There's a few statements that makes me. One is serious artist only. That's a bullshit post in there. That's someone who's not making no sales. That's someone who can't deal with the fact that people are hitting them up on a basis and not paying based on their awful objection handling and their lack of value that they're displaying alongside the product. Another one is let's work or let's network and shit like that. That's just someone.
Here's what I have to say about those. Yeah, I know you couldn't hear that sound effect, right?
what was it?
It was The Price is Right when you lose. Yep, there it is. One more time.
Nice. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It's like just based off what I know, man, people who work don't hit people with the let's work. They hit people up with the idea and how they see the other person fitting into that, Right. And perfect example, man. Shout out to my man Milan Bogdanovic, man. He hit me up. He's from Australia, and we had a nice talk. Like, he didn't even bother hitting me in the inbox. He was like, P, when do you have a good time? I'd like to talk about some things and discuss some things with you. And so, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? And we were able to shout out to platforms like Google Hangouts. Shouts out to Facebook for enabling people to be able to connect to one another across the world, right? So we got on a Facebook chat, and we were actually talking as though we were on the phone without the long distance bills. And the things that he was saying was like, okay, this is definitely a person that I would love to work with. You know what I mean? So we got some things popping, and the way it was all about the approach. Because had he hit me in my inbox and said, hey, P, man, let's work, I'd have probably ignored it, man. I really would have, because I get hit like that all day long. So it's all in the approach, man. In the approach. I think it's also about the brand as well. I think people let their brand slip a lot by just floating around and talking to people and never really doing anything. Like the amount of people that I've had conversations with, and I see I see him out on the timeline talking to other people, and I think, oh man, they're all just wasting their time. They do not listen. I don't say it because that's everyone else's business, but I just want to inbox the person and say, yo, don't let this person waste your time because they will fucking take it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Real quick though, man, shouts out to Brian Tyree, man. Brian Tyree is good. I see you, baby. What it do, man? Will Thompson is in the comments, says, hey y'all, let's work. No. Robert Hicks says, we got to find a way to get your program picked up by a big brand here on Facebook. You've got great talent and they have 0 to low engagement. Yo, that's what's up, man. Hey, Robert Hicks, let's work. You feel me?
Let's work. Hey, you know another one that fucking really grinds my gears. And I don't want to say grinds my gears because I know a bunch of you motherfuckers are just going to do this just to piss me off. But you know when someone comments on your shit, inbox me. Fuck off. Right. Inbox me, bro. You're the one who wants to.
You're that heat, man. That heat got you, bro.
I'm hot and bothered, man. Pet peeve. You know what pet peeves do to you when you start talking to them, you get passionate about it? That's what it is, man. Yeah. The people commenting on shit, like, inbox me. It's like, if you want to talk, if you got something specific to talk about, shouldn't you inbox the person? I'm just going on a rant and rave now. Maybe we should move on.
It's all good. Let's jump into it, man. Let's talk Lil Yachty real quick, man. All right. So for those who don't know who Lil Yachty is, Lil Yachty is one of the most hated rappers, period. He spearheads, I ain't gonna say spearheads, but when you think of quote unquote mumble rap, he's at the front of your mind. You know what I mean? So what I want to do is talk about the same guy that everybody hates, how he is number 20 on the Forbes list. Salute to Lil Yachty. Last year, throughout all the hate, he made $11 million. All right? And I'm loving it, man. He's doing things. So let me tell you, I discovered Lil Yachty through my 15-year-old son. And, you know, my son is I got a dope son, man. I love him so much, man. I don't think I tell him that enough, and he may not know it. But, like, when it comes to music, you know, I go on his Spotify, he's listening to Biggie, he's listening to Nas, but then he's listening to, like, Lil Pump. He's listening to Lil Yachty. And he's teaching me that you can love all sorts of music, man. There is no such thing as, because I like this music, I'm not allowed to like this type of music. You know what I'm saying? And I'm learning that from my son. And one of the things that my son taught me, he put me on to Lil Yachty. He's like, Dad, I love Lil Yachty, not necessarily because of his music, but because of what he stands for. And once again, this goes back to not stressing success, right? So my son then goes on to tell me that, you know, Lil Yachty doesn't rap about doing drugs. He doesn't rap about, you know, all the buffoonery. He raps about he loves his mom. You know, he's got a positive message. This cat owns a pizzeria called Lil Yachty's. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's getting it, man. And he's not even 21 years old yet. He's like 19 or 20 maybe. You know what I'm saying? He's out here getting it, man. And he's the number 20th spot on Forbes, man. For shits and giggles, we can kind of go through the Forbes list just to see who else is out there. Rick Ross is at number 18 on the list. Let's see who else. We got Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, both at 11.5. They're tied.
I can't remember the last time I heard anything about Macklemore. That's
right. Crazy. You got Lil Wayne at number 17, worth 15.5. You got Nicki Minaj out here getting it, worth 16 million. You got Snoop Dogg. Now, this is interesting right here. He's out here worth 16.5 million, right? And what I find interesting about Snoop, he's a great example of how you can always reinvent yourself. He just dropped a gospel album, man. Salute to Snoop. And when I say a gospel album, I'm hearing some of the tracks on it, and I'm like, yo, this is gospel. What is this? Like, it's really a gospel album. He's got the choir singing. You know, it's really a gospel album. And then he comes on and he's just talking positivity, man. So how we go from rolling down the street, smoking Indo, sipping on gin and juice, to a gospel rapper, man. And I'm not mad at him whatsoever. I'm all about positive vibes. Salute to Snoop, man. We got Swiss Beats. He's at 14 million. We got J. Cole, man. J. Cole doing big things, worth $19 million. We got Birdman, worth $20 million. In my opinion, he needs to go ahead and pay Lil Wayne his bread. You feel me?
Man,
That's how I feel.
I don't know if Birdman's worth that, or it's the fact that everything he owns or everyone he owns is worth that. You know what I mean?
Right. That might be all the debt. You know what I'm saying? So
that's all credit.
Yeah, that's credit right there, man. Yo, and so here's an interesting dude, man. I told myself I wasn't gonna talk about this guy no more, but Kanye West is out here getting it, worth $22 million, and I'm not gonna talk about him no more. That's it. Future is out here worth $23 million. Let's see, he's at the 10th spot. DJ Khaled is at the number 9th spot at $24 million. How are you a DJ that makes mixtapes and just shouts out, "We the best," and you still worth $24 million? Salute
man,
to DJ
Khaled. The whole game, man.
Straight up, man.
Just picks a beat. He said he picks some artists. He gives them a bit of cash, well, probably a lot of cash, and he says, "We the best" on the track. He makes $24 million in 1 year, man.
Yo.
Salute. Obviously, he's got his chicken shop, and no doubt you got, because all of these, like all of the people we're seeing, there's no way that they've done all of this just through music. You know what I mean? They've all got their ventures. Even back in the day, man. I remember when Cameron was Burger King and shit, owning Burger King.
I'm sorry to cut you off, man. I see that Charlene Capers joined in, right? And I want to take a special moment to salute her. I follow her on Instagram. Her name is Lady Lean. And what she does is she's showing her transformation on weight loss, right? And the name Lady Lean, her name is Charlene, and her Instagram name is Lady Lean. And some of the stuff that she's doing, she's out here looking great. And that is an example of success. I just really wanted to shout her out because I see you, man. I see you. Shout out to Lady Lean. But yeah, I digress.
No doubt, yeah, man. These are all investments going on, There's no doubt a few of them have got like a few million coming in off music and shit. But it's all behind the scenes shit, franchises and starting their own clothing lines, merchandising, sponsorship deals, etc., etc. And that's where the money is really, man, because especially for an artist or a producer out here, or even a DJ in Khaled's example, even though he's more of a producer than anything nowadays, like especially at a lower level, because we're all at a lower level clearly compared to all these people on this list. So you're not going to get a lot of money off a lot of the streams and shit that we might get. Right. So we got to look elsewhere. We got to look at making money elsewhere: skills, services, products, merchandise, even sponsorships. You know what I mean? That's what we got to figure out to boost that income up. We're not going to get rich off selling music. Yeah,
very true, man. Speaking of getting rich off of selling music, man, shouts out to Brian Ellis, man. Another dope producer that I know of. But let's go back to this Forbes list, man. On number 8, man, we got Pitbull in the building, worth $27 million, man. That's dope, man. Salute to Pitbull. Wiz Khalifa, $28 million at the number 7 spot. Kendrick Lamar at the number 6 spot with $30 million. Then we got Chance the Rapper at the number 5th spot with $33 million. Dr. Dre is at the number 4 spot, $34.5 million. Now here's where the numbers start to just like, whoa. Jay-Z, $42 million. And we're not even talking about what Jay-Z and Beyonce are worth together. You know what I mean? We talking about the billions. You feel what I'm saying? When you talk about a power couple like that. Then here's where it jumps, and I'm a little bit kind of surprised, but not really. Drake is at the number 2 spot with $94 million. And here's who reigns supreme. Once again, we got Diddy at $130 million right now. You know what I mean? Diddy and his antics. Kissing old white dudes.
Man, I know it's all starting to really come out now, man. Since that, did you see that Drink Champs episode?
Oh God. Yeah, I did, man. I did, man. The one with Fabulous.
Yeah.
And
How come you and me ain't partied before?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, we partied. No, you and me.
Yeah. Yo. Wouldn't even know how to take that, bro. I wouldn't even know how to take that, man.
He's probably just, he ain't even trying to hide it no more, really. You know what I mean? He ain't even come out and said, oh, this is bullshit. I don't know what people talking about.
Yeah, right. You can't deny it. That's why he ain't hiding it, man. I'm just saying. Yo, shouts out to Ray D. Cordova in the building, man. Robert Hicks made the comment, says, not lower level, just not discovered yet. Indeed. I would have to concur with him, man. Real talk.
It's not lower level in a negative way. I'm not saying low level like you're not as good or whatever, but it is lower level. Like, I mean, if you're a junior doctor, then you're a lower level than a fully qualified doctor that's making fucking 200 grand a year. You know what I mean?
Junior doctor, because I actually have a friend who gets upset when I call her a doctor because she's a nurse assistant. But she knows just as much as the doctor. Yeah. So when I be like, yo, I got to call my doctor Jennifer, she's like, I'm not a doctor, I'm a nurse's assistant. And I get her frustration because she's just as good as the doctor, but she's not getting paid like that.
I understand both sides, but it's a technicality, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all it is, man. I salute to Derek Salter, man. Salute to my brother, man. Indeed. So, yo, man, how you out there feeling, man? We've been going live for a little bit right now. I'm feeling good, feeling great, man. How about yourself, brother?
I'm feeling fantastic. Absolutely. I'm spiffing, truly spiffing, sir. Feeling great.
Are you too hot at the moment right now?
It's what's the time now? It's 6:35, so the heat's starting to. The lights annoying me a little bit. You know what I mean? Because obviously, as it gets the light gets lower,
right? And
it's kind of like it's moved a little bit, so it's coming like through my window now. But I'm not stressing it.
Don't stress it, man. Never, ever. So, I want to jump into something real quick. My granddad is 81 years old, and he just got his PhD. So I want to talk about it, man. This is my granddad, y'all. Y'all have no idea, man. Salute to him. I'm so proud of him. Let me pull it up real quick. He was on the news and everything, man. So, as long as I can get it together on my end. Here we go.
For over 25 years, Tower Radiology
Gotta let the commercial run on it real
the
quick,
patient
though.
Experience. As the market leader in imaging services, we are
Where's that skip ad button at?
Right. It don't pop up
MRI. And
until after the ad is gone. I tell you what, man, I'm gonna stall a little bit, man. Run it, DJ Scott.
Hey, so I do remember episode 1 when I had to stall and I started it? Right, good. I'm just gonna do the shoulder shuffle until it gets awkward. What are they doing in this ad? They just put his arm in some kind of machine. She looks like she's humping the shit.
Oh, man, these ads. So, man, these ads, man, they kill you, man, because ain't nobody thinking about that shit, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, they just shove shit all down your throat on some crazy shit.
Like they're glamorizing or trying to make radiology fun. You know what I mean? Trying to make x-rays fun. Sure it is for people who are interested in that kind of shit, but...
Shoulder shuffle.
Hey, we're trying to watch a video about the 81-year-old who got his degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So, real quick, man, Robert Hicks says, P, are you streaming to YouTube as well? Yes, sir, I am. Simultaneously streaming on Twitter as well.
Everybody, go onto YouTube, type in Don't Stress Success. We're so close to 100. Once we get to 100, we can name the channel, make the process easier. Don't Stress Success. You just type it in on YouTube. We're going to be right there. So if you could do us that huge favor, we'd be very welcome.
But yeah, man, I want to talk about my 81-year-old granddad, man. Like to hit a store, here, go, mother scuck and go. So I thought.
81-year-old man getting a PhD from the University of South Florida.
Each graduate tonight at a different stage in their life, but all of them earning that stroll across the stage.
Getting the PhD feels wonderful. The cat and
It's my granddaddy, y'all.
81-year-old John Vopel earning a PhD in philosophy, making him this semester's oldest graduate at the University of South Florida.
I've got a little more experience than most of the folks graduating in this class.
Vopel took his first class at USF on environmental ethics for no credit in 2002. He stuck around for 15 years.
I've learned a lot through the philosophy department because philosophy is really where science started.
Vopel shared photos with me from his high school yearbook nearly 60 years ago. He spent a career practicing environmental law, and even though he graduated tonight, he's already enrolled in a class this summer.
I'm a different person having come to this school.
Vopel's advice to graduates: find a passion and never let it die, and always ask questions.
Have fun to all of us who are going out there into the world with a new degree.
Reporting in Tampa, Julie Salmon, ABC Action News.
Tonight.
Salute to my granddaddy, y'all.
For over 25 years, Power Radiology has been the market leader in
these
imaging
damn
services.
commercials, man.
For
They're
over
killing me.
25
Man.
years.
Stop.
There
we go. Salute to my granddad. He's 81 years old doing this thing. I just found out that my great-granddad was Greek.
Oh, shit.
My black ass got a great-granddaddy that was Greek.
Yeah, man. I think it'd be very surprising if everybody went through their genealogy and shit. What would come up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, I think about all these white supremacists who are all about the pure white race, man. There's no such thing. You know what I mean? It's really not, man. I'm sorry, man.
I remember seeing some shit. I don't know if it was Jerry Springer or something like that, but it was one of the leaders of the KKK. They call themselves fucking something dragon or some shit. Some kind of leader.
The Grand Dragon.
Grand Dragon or some shit. And he found out he was like 10% black or something. And he just, obviously it'll make them question their whole life. You know what I mean? You know what the funniest shit in the world though, man? Clayton Dick.
Oh, I love Clayton Bigsby.
The Dave Chappelle character.
I love him, man. That's
for
my
anyone
dude.
who doesn't know, Dave Chappelle, he plays this. He's like a white supremacist.
A blind white supremacist, yeah.
He's blind and he doesn't know he's black, so he goes to all these events to talk about, you know, racism and down with the black man and shit, and everyone's just like, what?
But yo, I want to talk about my granddad, man. That's not really my granddad, man.
No,
I got the goddamn joke.
I was trying to see the resemblance, but it's not him. I was thinking, okay, you know, there's stranger things in the world.
Right. So my whole thing is, there are a lot of people out there who beat themselves up. They'll say things like, well, I'm too old to do this. My time for that is up. Like, even like, so from my realm, I'm in the music industry, right? And I think about people who are saying, oh, you're too old to rap. But what's emerging now is that, at least in the hip-hop arena, the business is growing and your fans are getting older along with you. So now you have a younger generation as well as an older generation. And then I think about like musicians who are still on tour, like rock musicians who are still on tour, you know what I'm saying? And they're out there on stage getting it in at like 60 years old, man. So if you're out here trying to really figure it out, and you're feeling like your time is kind of the boat to sail for that, man, it's all in your mind. I really believe that. I really believe that it's all in your mind. So,
man, like, I think what a lot of older people do is give up, you know, and after that, all you can do is die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But funny enough, man, I was watching this video the other day about this 109-year-old. A black guy from, I'm not sure what state, he was from the States, right? And he smoked cigars, he drank every day, he's 109, still driving. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but it's a really, really interesting story, you know what I mean? He's like, he just kept going. You know what I mean? He didn't think, oh, I'm really old. Yeah, he just didn't think, oh, I'm really old and I'm fragile and shit. He just kept going, and just kept living, kept enjoying himself, going to play dominoes, going to see his friends, the ones that are left. He's got himself a girlfriend and everything. Enjoys her company. Like, still, you know, see, he's still got that attitude, like he's a little bit frisky with her and shit. You know what I mean? At 109 years old, a lot of people just give up, and when you give up, then I think that's what, like I say, all you can do is die then.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with you 1,000%, man. And that's when I speak to a lot of old people, you know, because just off the nature of what I do, I'm bumping into a lot of different people, whether they be old or young. And that's one thing that I'm learning, man, is there are those older people who just kind of gave up, like you said, but then there's others who have a lot of energy, and you can see it all in their physical form. They're out here eating right, they're exercising, and they're keeping their minds mentally sharp. You know what I mean? My dad just turned like 62, I believe it was, and you would never know it. He's still out here playing basketball. Like, he can outball me still. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you know, versus some other uncles that I have, you know, they've kind of run into some health problems and they've kind of given up to a degree. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely. Yeah, I think like you've got to recognize age, because like I'm only 28 now, but I know I'm coming up to 30, right? So say when I was 20, I've started training heavy and trying to eat right as best as I can. Like, when I was 20, I could eat whatever the fuck I want, hit weights, and I'd just get big. That's just what would happen. But I noticed this time around at 28, like, I know that I've got to get this done now, because I know everything's gonna start slowing down. I mean, not that it's ever too late. I was watching another video about this woman. She was 81. She's like big. She entered bodybuilding contest, ripped as fuck. They compared it to another 81-year-old who just didn't bother, and the 81-year-old that didn't bother is obviously fragile, weak. But this woman looked like she could, you know, bench press more than me and shit. Yeah. And she's 81. So yeah, man, you really gotta just for any age, just be in good condition. You know.
We got some comments out there. I'm so sorry, man. Moeyo Earnhard. I didn't even want to try to check it. I didn't even want to try to pronounce it and fuck it up. They say that life is what you make it. Don't ever let the elders give up. Encourage them, indeed. Tommy Lewis says, love it, bro. Robert Hicks says, too old to rap. What the fuck? These are the artists that have maturity and wisdom. More to share than a 19-year-old with no life experiences yet. Drugs, hoes, and gold is the tide beat. I can feel that, man. Timothy Richmond says, right, never give up. I've been doing music since I was 15. I'm 36 now, and I don't plan on stopping, man. Indeed, man. So that's what it is, man. I want to kind of keep this moving along a little bit. It's almost about that time. But before we leave, yes, Robert Hicks, a Zoom call will work. Let's do it.
Yeah, I wanted to pick up actually on, you know, I completely agree with Robert Hicks there. There's no such thing as too old to rap. You know, I think where the problem comes in is when you get older, you got to stop acting like a boy. You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of the older rappers I see, not the ones that are making it, because they're obviously doing it right. But I see a lot of people on my timeline that are in like late 30s, 40s. They're dressing like the kids. They're trying to talk like the kids. They're using the kids slang. The thing is the kids are looking at you like, you ain't one of us. Right, and then the people your age are looking at you like, you ain't one of us. You never grew up. You know what I mean? I think you've got to adapt as you get older. You've got to be the man you become in the music too, and stop chasing for that necessarily, you know, mainstream audience, which is always going to be like I don't know, I can't remember the actual, but like, you know, the 15 to 24 or whatever. You got to stop chasing that. If they like your stuff, that's cool, but don't try and be them. You know what I mean? Be the man you are. Be the 35-year-old, 40-year-old, 45-year-old man or woman that you are, and not try to be the cool kid.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that just goes down to another element of success, man. You got to be yourself with whatever you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's what it is, man. But I want to talk about this, though. I want to talk about social media for a moment. And I know that's kind of a weird way to transition. We just went from being old, now we're talking social media, what have you. But this is the part of the podcast where we really try to be instructional and show you guys things that could benefit yourself. You know what I'm saying? So DJ Scott and I earlier this week, I told him how I had discovered this new social media platform. And I'm going to throw the ball in your court and just let's have the conversation that we had earlier about getting onto a platform early while it's fresh and brand new. So I'm going to throw it your way.
Absolutely, man. Obviously, a lot of these social medias are going to be hit and miss, right? Everyone's trying a new social media. Not all of them are going to get traction. What was that one not long ago? I think it was like a year or two ago where you would get paid a certain amount. Like you would earn revenue for inviting people.
Oh, I can't even remember it, Jay. You're right.
I remember it was green. It was a green social media. I can't remember what it was called. But I'm sure if anyone in the audience knows, can remember, feel free to, comment and let us know what it was. But, everyone thought that was going to be a hit, but it was a miss. But it doesn't hurt to just get on these platforms and try and build something and get it. Early adopters, right? People who get on platforms early, like the first few Viners and shit, blew up. Why? Because, and the same with YouTube, the first few YouTubers blew up. Why? Because there's no competition, it's just them. You go on the website, and if it's just that person, who else you gonna watch?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So I discovered it, man. It's weird how I discovered it. I actually discovered it on a Facebook ad. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is this? It's a new social media platform called Holonis. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but it's spelled Holonis, right? And what I found was really interesting about it is just kind of going back to everything DJ Scott was just saying. So I created a profile on there, man, and here I am. You can find me at PThePolitician. And I just been playing around with it, and these are some of the posts that I've made on there. And it seems like it's pretty easy to get engagement. So far, I only have about 146 followers, but I've been on here less than a week. You know what I'm saying? And it will allow for you, like you can sync your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitters. And there are a lot of people on here. And what I found very interesting is that there are celebrities that are on this platform and they aren't really getting that much engagement. That's how you know that it's still fairly new. So the way I figure it, hey man, if you're having a difficult time on one platform, here's a new one that you can check out. And it pretty much is almost identical to Facebook, but way smaller. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's a Facebook, Instagram kind of hybrid.
Right. So, I'm on there. You can find me at PThePolitician. And I just kind of figured that, let's build something on there. It's kind of how I feel.
You never know, man. And if it's not this one, it could be the next one, or it could be the next one. But a lot of people get on. You've always got to be working hard. You've always got to be doing something. You've always got to be, creating. It's like the overnight successes. They're not overnight successes. They've been putting in work, but maybe they just hit this one time. You know what I mean? And one of these social medias could be that opportunity for you to just hit that time. Maybe you're ready, but you just haven't found that, that little outlet. You haven't found that little opportunity. You haven't had that chance. You know what I mean? And maybe one of these kind of social medias is going to be that for you.
Well, it's kind of like what Robert Hicks was saying earlier, man. It's not that you necessarily don't have the talent. It's just that you haven't been discovered yet. And so, like, I'll take myself, for example. I have pretty good success on Facebook, but not so much on Twitter or Instagram or any of these other social media platforms. For whatever reason, Facebook has kind of been the one that I'm comfortable with, that I have been working on. I'm not really successful on YouTube, but that doesn't mean that I'm not as successful with the content that I have. Just haven't been discovered. So this is just another avenue that you could take, another platform that you could utilize. And who knows, man, you might meet people who are on this platform that just don't like Facebook. That's another thing I'm discovering. There are a lot of people that like Instagram that can't stand Facebook, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you're out here trying to build your brand, there's another option for you, man. Timothy Richmond says, don't stress the success. That's what it is.
That's right.
So, Robert Hicks, man, we are coming your way. We about to go ahead and get up out of here. DJ Scott, man, talk to him, baby.
Don't stress success, YouTube. Please, guys, type it in. Shout out to Robert Hicks. He already went ahead and subscribed on YouTube. Very thankful for that. So anybody else that's watching, don't stress success. Type in YouTube, subscribe. I'm not saying that I'm going to shut up about getting you to subscribe. When once we hit 100, that's the goal. You know what I mean? I'm still going to mention it. But hey, we still want to hit 100, man. Please. Okay?
Yep.
Not in a begging way, but hey, come on, man. Subscribe. Don't stress success, YouTube. Type it in, we'll come straight up.
Yeah, that's what it is. No stressing. But Teofilo Sebastian says, "Sarge bros, I work on Sundays. Just got off. Man, get your money, baby. Get your money. You know why? Because when we get off live, we'll still have it on my page on Facebook. We'll be sharing it. And guess what? We'll be on YouTube. So you can catch it at your leisure. You know what I mean? Robert Hicks says, going back to the social media success, he says the trick to social media success from a brand perspective is to own your own audience. Get their email info so you can directly connect with them. I like that. I like that. We were talking on a show not too long ago. We were talking about building your email contact listing and things of that nature. So that right there lines up with it, you know? And it's just at the end of the day, just building relationships, man. You know, so that's what it is, man. Ray Dean Cordova says, "I'll do it now." Thank you, Ray Dean.
Thank you very much.
Jay Chalksmack Wiggins says, "What's the name of the app?" Let me go ahead and I'll pin it at the top of the comments. But it is called Hollowness. Let me go back there. Hollowness. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and pin this at the top for anybody else that may be interested. Boom. There you go. So, just want to say, man, appreciate everybody tuning in and rocking with us, man. At the end of the day, we do this for you guys, and therefore we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. You know what I mean? So,
that's a fact.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, man, I am PThePolitician.
I'm Daniel J. Scott. Don't stress success.
Indeed,
Don't do
indeed.
it.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it, man. Guess what, y'all? We out.